2020 has been an unforgettable year on many fronts. But you know, from yourself and also from Singtel's perspective, what sort of key takeaways stand out for you from the last year?
Right. I think the most unforgettable part in this year is the quick adaptations that everybody has made to survive these unprecedented challenges posed by COVID-19. So we Singtel, as a critical service provider, we always maintain and practice our BCP playbook, but never have we in history had to activate it in such a corporate-wide level and for a very prolonged period of time in some countries where we operate in. And we also have seen many customers at the same time coming to us, requesting us to implement urgent changes to their corporate network, like increasing bandwidth, like opening cloud access gateways, enabling large-scale VPN access, and also like immediately implementing some cloud security protections, endpoint protections, etc.
A large asset management company, for example, we are dealing with one of the largest asset management company in Korea, and they became typical BC scam a victim. As I mentioned before, they lost $7.6 million.
Let's just say hypothetically, we don't have the ability to put software on that agent. Then what we do is we start relying on intelligence. And the intelligence relates to known indicators of compromise, reputational data about known bad actors, and contextual data about what's happening in other organizations whose networks we monitor.
And Exabeam, because of the AI and machine learning, we dynamically do that for them. So they can focus on the triage and investigation and not how do I rethink all of my detections because now we don't have that traditional perimeter and everyone is working from home.
A detection-based Active Directory or a reactive-based Active Directory security tools like auditing or detection is not going to be enough.
With the change of this cloud adoption that we mentioned, in the past, maybe again, we talk about a lot of security network parameters to do those defense and segmentation. But that I didn't mention much, but I think most of you may have heard about the zero trust concept. So this applies in these cloud environments.
Our normal user patterns that we rely on to identify the anomalies in the cyber detection, it also change as well.
We have seen a lot of new vulnerabilities coming up, 0 days coming up on the e-commerce platforms and you know, the websites which are being used.
In the Trustwave context, we think about that a lot as what we call, you know, proactive threat hunting, right? Which is aligning an individual towards a set of systems and really digging into those systems and looking for problems.
You need to use intelligent humans, but you also need to use machines and use other automation to make things easier. So your intelligent humans can focus in on threat hunting and working hard on the adversary.
Striking that balance between security and you know, the convenience of the users and understand the rationale on the business.
I would say they should measure the maturity of their cybersecurity posture. That will help them measure their resilience, right? As you measure it, you need to you will get a good understanding of where you are. You will then have to decide where you want to be, what is practical. You will come up with a plan.
Using a security ratings that they can relate to because they are also using it internally, then that's going to help you get a leg up, right, in the business opportunity.
The traditional web traffic was purely HTTPS post and gets. That's no longer valid, right? That's not how cloud traffic and cloud native and SaaS application traffic or applications communicate. They use JSON to communicate. And that's a very different perspective.
What we call zero trust, not only from networking perspective, but also from security. You have to inspect all the traffic. You don't trust your device, you don't trust your user, you don't trust your IP address.
We're seeing a lot more changes towards attacking, like, cloud infrastructure and cloud providers and such there, rather than that traditional, I need to get a foothold in your network. People are relying more on Office 365, all that kind of single sign-on, federated identities and such there. So
when you start to think about physical harm that can result through some form of compromise or an attack on a cyber physical related system.
Let's say traditional organizations, they feel that they've done a level of risk transfer when they push out infrastructure to the cloud.
So a common complaint among security professionals is that a cloud environment makes them blind to much of the data that need to detect and prevent malicious activity.